everybody. So glad you're with us. If you didn't know, there's a huge celebration that has been going on for days in the UK. It's called the Platinum Jubilee, and it marks Queen Elizabeth's 70th year on the throne. And she is the first, I believe, not just British monarch, but I believe monarch ever that we know of to reach that milestone. Tomas Mace-Archer-Mills is a royal expert and the founder of the British Monarchist Society, and he joins us now from London. Tomas, we're glad you're with us. You have to help us understand. You know, Americans are a little slow on the uptake where the monarchy is concerned, and we also are a little slow to understand maybe why so many days of a celebration and what its long-term impact means to your country.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, Dr. Gina, that's not an excuse. I was born in America and I'm still a royal expert.
That's true. Okay. You've got the accent. Maybe that's my problem. I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, 70 years is no easy feat. It was the Queen's great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, who had a Diamond Jubilee, but reigned for 3 years after that, 63, which makes her great-great-granddaughter, Elizabeth II, the longest reigning, the longest lived, and the most decorated British monarch ever. So when we look at 70 years, if the Queen lives 2 more years, God willing she will beat Louis XIV of France to be the longest reigning sovereign ever in world history, which is fantastic. But this is 70 years, 7 decades on the throne, from a duty that she promised her people, an oath she took on her 21st birthday from South Africa. Her whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be dedicated to our service. And I think that says a lot, that this woman, who was never born to be queen, has stood by that oath for 70 years. She's the only 96-year-old that I know still in full-time employment. So as we've had several days of a celebration, we actually have 2 years of Platinum Jubilee. This year, because it's the 70th anniversary when she became queen, but next year as well, because it's the 70th anniversary of her coronation. So there's a lot of partying happening here, Dr. Gina.
There is, and it really is beautiful to watch the pageantry. Nobody does it like you all over there do the pageantry. I realize, though, you're an American, but your roots certainly. There was some drama. One of the pieces of drama, I think what people thought would take center stage was really the whole thing with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I hope I even have those names right, because I'm going off the top of my head, and this is not what I do for a living. But originally, they did show up at some things. They didn't show up at other things. They were placed back a little bit from the working royals, right? Those who are, let's just say, in better standing, perhaps. And what was the outtake on that? What was you looking back at these several days of this Jubilee? What do you make of what they did, what they didn't do? Was it proper? And do you think, generally speaking, the British people are pleased with the way it was handled?
I think the British people were very pleased with the way it was handled. We know that Prince Harry and the Duchess had to come. Of course, Her Majesty wants her family there. She wants unity. As she's getting older, she wants to make sure that the crown is left in good nick, and that includes healing any sort of rifts. But Harry and Meghan were purposely kept away from certain things. This is not the Harry and Meghan show. They're back now in the United Kingdom, where they have to understand, when you abandon the British people, when they were nothing but good to you and welcoming, it doesn't float well at all. So when they actually came to St. Paul's Cathedral for the service of National Thanksgiving, of course, the royals had to enter in precedent, but there were already people there as senior members of the royal family, working members of the royal family. So even though their seats were there, they had to actually ask members of the family to move so they could get to where their seats were, which is sort of a little bit of a slight. But we did not see them for the pageant. They very discreetly on Sunday said, right, we're gone again. And they quietly went in the latter morning to Heathrow and flew out. So they weren't at the pageant. They weren't at the party, at the Platinum party at the palace. During the day, when the Derby was happening, they held the first birthday party for Lilibet, their daughter. So it was a quick fly in, fly out. We know we're not the cherry on the cake anymore. We're not going to be, and we've been put in our place. So it was very interesting to see how the palace was handling their involvement and their appearance at these jubilation celebrations, which it's all about the Queen. That's what it's about, not Harry and Meghan.
Absolutely.
And then not to be that.
Absolutely. And I think many mothers and grandmothers who watch this, we all know the feeling of, you may have one child that doesn't behave exactly the way you wish they would, or grandchild, but you still want that unity. So that was going to be my follow-up question. Was there any flicker that the Sussexes did manage to get together and did make any amends? Is there any rumor of that even?
Well, there really isn't much talk about it, to be honest with you. It's all about Her Majesty and the sketch with Paddington and the surprise balcony visit on Sunday, yesterday, where she thanked the Commonwealth. She thanked her subjects all around the world. So this very much is the Sussexes taking second stage and playing second fiddle to actually the Crown and Harry's grandmother. And rightfully so. They made a decision to no longer be members of the royal family and working members of the royal family. So to see him come out of St. Paul's in all of his medals and all of his finery, it's sort of like, okay, we understand you are entitled to wear these decorations, but now you're just playing dress up. And we don't want to see it. You let us know what you thought of us. You let your family know what you thought of them. So any sort of reconciliation has been in the making. So it was somewhat comfortable for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and their family to come here.
The Queen was the center of everything that happened. My last question for you, because we're almost out of time. We noticed that she was missing from some of the things that she was hopeful, that people were hopeful she would attend earlier in the days. As they progressed, though, she made it back out. A lot of this was due to mobility issues, at least that's what was cited. But people were concerned. There's no question. She's 96 years old. As you mentioned, she deserves a day off, certainly. But she did make a surprise visit on Sunday out on the balcony. And did that allay most of the fears in the hearts of those who were concerned?
It subsided them a bit. I mean, for her to be on that balcony to coincide with her letter and statement to the people just about this celebration and thanking them, it's very real. The next time this country will all come together will be for a memorial. Dr. Gina, I'm a realist royalist, and even though we're celebrating, it's right there in the back of our minds. At 96, every day is a gift. And every day that she keeps going, God willing, the strength allows her to do so, we will have Elizabeth the Great on that throne. But the day will come eventually. And it was really fantastic to be with 1 million people on the Mall. But when it sets in that this is the last time we're celebrating her, there's a little tinge of sadness there. Anybody would have that when she's the only sovereign the majority of this nation has ever known. Actually, the world, Dr. Gina, has ever known.
Yes, and she's made it clear now that she wants Camilla to actually have the title when she's gone, which I think is that is another piece of her trying to put her family together and make whole what was once. Yes, exactly. And thank you for that. And the only person who upstaged her, we all know, was her adorable, darling grandson. Those photos will live in infamy forever. Thomas, this has been fun, really, to celebrate with our closest allies, of course. And we appreciate you being with us. Thomas Mace-Archer-Mills, founder of the British Monarchist Society. Thanks for being here and filling us in.
Thank you, Dr. Gina. Good evening.
You too.